Hello everybody, welcome back to another lockdown video. Today we're going to talk about what happens if you are a first-time dissident. So if you're the bad guy, you're trying to sabotage or kill all players. It's something I've been shockingly seeing a lot of questions and concerns about, is like, hey, I understand the tasks and there's a lot of resources to figure out what tasks we're doing, but if I'm a killer, what do I do? How do I kill? What do I need to do to be productive as a dissident, especially if I have a teammate? There's a little bit of pressure on there, actually. So the first thing, of course, is we have to kill all the employees. Now, any object you find, if you just hold right-click, you see there's all kinds of damage. You have the attacks per meter, second, the range and speed and all that. Health, stamina, knockback, all that. So if you do frontal damage, let's say you hit somebody right in the front, it'll do 5 health, but 30 stamina. So the stamina is your white bar, health is your blue bar, and 60 knockback. So you'll be able to knock them back a little farther. Back damage, it does a little less knockback, but you see it does 80 stamina damage for this pen and 20 health. So hitting people in the back is really always going to be more opportunistic than hitting somebody just right in the front. Now, everything you find, fuses, batteries, pretty much everything will have some kind of damage. You can even take out a vent. Let's say we have this vent removed. We can use that as a weapon too. So you're going to want to look around the entire map for any kind of weapons. Real quick, this is going to be a longer video. There's a lot of different things. I'm going to go through just how to kill and what weapons do and things like that first. But then we're going to look at the hallways and why you want to access these as a killer. We're going to look at the tasks themselves. So I just want to show you real quick. This I went over briefly in the introduction video. But these usually have weapons locked away in them. So as a killer, if you ever see one that's not locked and it's ready to go, you can use these numbers to actually open this case. So gray means we don't need that number, and yellow means we do need that number, but it's just in the wrong spot. So it's like Wordle. I usually just go in an order. That way I don't forget. We know that 0 doesn't go there, so I'll try 4, 5, 6, 0 this time. Okay, so 4 is blue. That means that's in the right spot. The 0 is still in the wrong spot, but we do need it. And we can never double up on numbers, so you can't have 2 6s or 2 5s or 2 4s or anything like that. It's only just going to be one or the other. Okay, so we know 4 is there, so I'm going to go 4, 0, 7, 8. Alright, so now we got those 3, so now we know it's 4, 0, 7 for sure. And the last number available, because I did all of these in order, is 9. And there's no gun in here this time, but some of the other cases might have guns in them. The other thing, too, is if the guns spawn on the floor already, you won't have any in the cases. So even if they're locked and then they are able to be opened, if all 3 of the guns spawn on the floor, you will not be able to do anything with this case anyway. So even if you open it, there won't be anything in there. There's only 1 shotgun, 1 pistol, and 1 revolver per round. And they can spawn anywhere on the map. So what I like to do as a killer is just kind of run into a certain room. Usually the same room over and over again. So every time the round starts, if I'm here, I'll just go right into security, look around, see what we got. That way, if I was an employee or a killer, you couldn't tell. So if I do the same thing as an employee or a killer, just run into that room every time, there's not going to be any difference in behavior. So I like to just kind of look around. Then I come over here. There's usually, if you're an employee, there's a lot of useful parts and things in here, depending on what tasks you have. And, sometimes weapons can spawn, like this knife. So the knives will spawn on the floor. There won't be in any cases. They won't be locked away. They're only going to spawn on the room, and they can spawn anywhere as well. So you can find them in the sushi place. You can find them anywhere in storage on the shelves here. But the knives, they do very good damage. So a lot more health damage than the stamina damage. So a lot of the regular pieces, they'll do more stamina damage. This has an incredible knockback, as you can see. If you can land a shot with a pressure can, because anything you can pick up you can use as a weapon. But the rice bag, they all have really good knockback because they're so heavy. So I like to use those in any kind of like altercation or killing situation. I also like to look for the access cards. So the access cards will lead to other weapons and things like this one right here. Now we have a full defib here. As you can tell, the defib is charged because it's blue. You can either, if you don't have weapons, charge this up too, and then use this. This does tons of damage. 80 knockback, 50 stamina, and 10 health to the back. But it still does a pretty respectable amount of all of that to the front as well. The knockback is really what you're going to want on that one because, let's say somebody's delivering a package, somebody's making a pizza, you know, just something where they're like, they have to be right in the vicinity here, and you want to throw them off, just go up to them and hit them with, like, you know, rice bag, the defib, whatever, and then it really throws them off. We're going to get into sabotaging in the next part. I don't want to make these too long because I know it's a lot of information, so we're just kind of going over, like, weapons, how to get them, where to get them, things like that. So the C4 is another great tool to use if you are a killer. And there's going to be a trigger that either sometimes spawns, unless you change the setting where it'll be more common or always spawn. You will get this, but not the actual trigger. Now, obviously, check out the rules, you know, whatever the host makes the rule set. Sometimes they like the C4 on, sometimes they like it off. This part will spawn every time, but the actual trigger will not, so this will be completely useless. What I like to do with this, as a killer, is go to where tasks are, and just kind of like lay it low. So like, let's say somebody's making pizza. Just have them come on in here. If we throw that down there, right? Like, look where I'm standing. This thing will blow up any range from like over here, back here, and then it even gets people over this way too. So if somebody's coming to place a pizza here, maybe a couple of people are working on it together, or let's just say somebody comes in here to do a computer task, and they have all the, you know, the pizza people making pizza. I mean, it's just a devastating thing you can use right here. Another great thing to do with the C4 is if people are doing scanner in here, you can just throw this right in the middle of the room, safely get around the corner and blow it up. I mean, it's the best thing in the world. But, you know, with the C4, it's very common to just kind of have people like discard it real quick, and then you have to go search for it. Or people hold it in their pocket, and you can get a pretty quick and easy kill that way. A lot of people like to detonate the trigger just right away. And, you know, whatever works, really, but I like to have a weapon that I can use consistently. So this right here, revolver, it does a lot of damage. It's very good. It's very accurate, just like any gun, if you're not moving. See, if you're moving, look at the crosshair just going crazy like that. But if you're standing still, it really centers. Now, I definitely prefer to have a weapon I can stab with, like the knife. But if you do find a revolver and it's got some ammo, you can check the ammo by holding right-click as well. We have two. You can always reload it also if the reload station is open. Again, these are all just specific rules that you can change and set. A lot of times if you're just playing straight up, though, the reload and everything is going to be in the armory right here. Something I just learned is that ammo will sometimes spawn in here. So the ammo is the flowers. And you can get a jar of these. Each one corresponds to a different gun. So this blue is actually for the pistol. Now the pistol has blue on the back, so you can remember it like that. And then the shotgun is red. So the red flower. You can tell that because the iron sight has red on it also. This one has green, but it's actually yellow. So look when I shoot it. See how it's like a little yellow when I shoot the gun? That's how you can tell what the ammo is. So if you ever do forget and you shoot it, it will show you what the ammo type is that you need on there. So with the gun, you just right-click, put it in just like you were placing anything else. And then you'll get a flower with the yellow flower in it, or a jar with the yellow flower in it. Throw it in there. It'll be blue down there, and it'll reload for you. So you can do that with any gun as long as you have the correct flower. And like I say, if you shoot the ammo type, it'll show you right away. Yeah, so I'm going to go over here. And also, in that room, if we could find another access card or two, I can show you something else. There is another one. Alright, so these access cards are good as a killer to open up any room. I would recommend opening up the medical room because there are 2 scalpels on that tray there, and then there's a tray cart right there that has a scalpel. Those hit the same as knives, and they're really, really good to actually use. They're quick, they're deadly, and there's a couple of them too. So if you have a killer buddy, you guys can both go in there and arm yourselves right away. So that's always good. I don't like to open this room here anymore as a killer because there's so many spare parts. So like if we have the vent task, there is extra vents in there. There's extra jars. If you need like jars or batteries in a pinch for yourself as a killer, that's a good room to open, but I would not recommend it because of all the extra parts. The armory is always good to open, especially if you have a weapon. The only thing is, though, if you open the armory, employees can also use the recharge station for ammo. But if you have another access card, you can open this up if it's on. And then there's a heavy weapon. The problem with this one is you can't put it away. You can recharge it, reload it like any other gun. And as you can see, there's red on it, so this is actually the red. And then the ammo is red as well. You need the red flower to recharge it. But this gun right here, you can't holster. So none of those case weapons, the assault rifle, the shotgun, or the SMG, you can't holster them. But they're just so good to go through and you say, you know, you have a couple of people sectioned off and you just take them out real quick. It's a really, really good way to do that. And, you know, here's the other little pistol. You can tell this is blue right here with the back. But also, if you shoot the ammo, see the ammo is blue? Yeah, so this video is just kind of more like what you can do, what weapons, that kind of thing. And I'll show you the reload real quick. There's little machine parts and things like that. This jerry can, you can do some damage with that as well. So here we go. I just reloaded the gun. It'll give you half ammo every time you reload it. So you could actually reload this again and put it up to 12 ammo, but it does cap out at 12. The revolver caps out at 6, and the shotgun caps out at 4. And you'll get half like every time, like I say. The only other thing, like I say, with weapons, be careful what you're picking up, because these cups, they do some good damage from the back. Candy canes, same deal. Cookies actually heal from the front, but all of these things are one-shot use. They will break in your hands as soon as you hit them, so you want to make sure you have something pretty sturdy. Like if you have this knife, you're not going to break it. You're never going to lose it. If you have any machine parts or the jerry can or anything like that, it's never going to break. But the candy canes, little things like that, you can even hit people with this cassette tape. Yeah, so that's just kind of a rundown on the weapons. And like if I'm a killer, what I'll do, I'll just check the rooms, see what I got, if there's an access card, if there's a knife, a gun, whatever, and see what I can do with that. But literally anything can be used as a weapon. The next video will go into more of the tasks and like hiding and deceiving and things like that. I think that's a very, very important part of the game because you don't always find weapons as killers. And another thing, this screwdriver is a very common weapon to use. It is one of the worst things you can use, though. Like, look at the stats on this. 10 knockback, 20 stamina, 20 health from the back. 10 health, 10 stamina, and 30 knockback from the front. It's really one of the weakest things you can use. Now, the funny thing is it's such a common thing people use, but I would try to avoid the screwdriver if you can. Alright, yeah, so we'll jump into the tasks and how I like to sabotage the tasks, especially if I don't have a weapon. But yeah, please take it easy, and I will see you in the next one.